This is an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyway. Do not give your child the father's last name if y'all are not married. And if the child's father is pressing the issue that bad, why y'all not already married?
So I saw this video on TikTok and I really wanted to say something about the situation. Why would you get pregnant for a man that you are not married to in the first place, since marriage means so much to you in terms of having children? You think that you should get married before having children, but you did not do everything that you could to prevent yourself from getting pregnant. And we wonder why men are afraid of dating. These are the types of thought processes that scare men, good men. I'm not talking about the men who would eventually become deadbeat fathers. I'm not talking about the men who you tell them that you're pregnant and they run away. Those aren't the men I'm talking about. By all means, if you want to give your child your last name, if you tell the father that you're pregnant and he tells you, "Oh, go get an abortion. Go, like, I don't want to have anything to do with you or the child." And he's not there for you during your pregnancy. He's not supportive of you. I 100% I understand in those situations. But if this is someone that you have a good relationship with, if he's positive about the pregnancy and he wants to support you during the pregnancy, and you have that baby and you're going to say, "I'm not going to give this child your last name as the father because we are not married." Are you okay? Like, are you all right? Do you need therapy or something? Because this is how you chase away an otherwise good man. Now it's like an ultimatum in a way. It's like you're saying to him, "Well, in order for me to put your name on the child's birth certificate, you have to marry me first." Where was this before you got pregnant? There are so many different types of birth control. Like, there's the pill, there are injections, there's IUD, there is so many things that you can do to prevent yourself from getting pregnant. And marriage means so much to you, and you allow yourself to get pregnant. I'm going to say allow yourself because there are so many ways. You get pregnant for this man, and then you're going to say, "Well, I'm not going to put your name on the birth certificate." Especially for a traditional man, that can cut that man really deep. And you might think, "Oh, well, now he's just gonna have to marry me or something." Like, what is the dynamic of the relationship that you're gonna expecting to happen after something like that? You're gonna say, "Oh, we live together, we have a child together, but I'm not gonna give this child your name, so you're just gonna have to deal with it." You're gonna say that to a man, and he's going to be happy with you in that dynamic. Let's talk about that. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about a situation like that? And like I said, there are certain circumstances that I would agree, but not in all circumstances, and certainly not simply for the reason of you're not married. That is something that you should have figured out before you got pregnant in the first place.
Okay. Let's talk about it. Now, you don't want to give your child the father's last name because you guys are not married. But in this also as well puts a further on question is, why did you not get married to that man before having that child in the first place? Because instead of us do all these mental gymnastics of things that we can do after the pretext of having the child, why don't we just wait until the man marries you? The man is not willing to marry you. He's not willing to commit long term to you. He's not willing to, you know what I'm saying, put you on his life insurance policy, give you benefits, put, you know what I'm saying, put real stakes into the game for you. Why are you putting your life, your livelihood, you know what I'm saying, your life, let's be honest about this, because pregnancy is a very crazy thing to go through, especially being a black woman in today's society, and healthcare is what cops are to black men, right? You're putting your life at risk for a man that isn't trying to invest anything into you. So you think getting back at him, because this is what that is, this is what it is getting back at him is not giving the child his last name. I don't know what type of mental gymnastic that is, but I'm sorry to say this ain't it. This ain't it. I will always say this: marriage first, child second. If you're not gonna get the ring, it makes no sense to have the child. That's just me. I could be completely wrong, but that's just where my opinion lies.
Popular opinion, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Do not give your child the father's last name if y'all are not married.
Or, hear me out, just might be crazy. You don't have a baby with that man if y'all not married. And vice versa. You don't have a baby with the girl if you're not married either. I don't know. Maybe that's just a unpopular opinion. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? What do I know?
If you have a man that has the making of being a good father, if you have a man that has the making of being a good husband, and you guys are not at that level yet, and you get pregnant, and you are going to punish that man by saying, well, we're not married, so I'm not going to name this child after you. I'm not going to give this child your last name. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. It's like women have this power and they don't know how to use it. If this man wants a child and you want to get married first, why not get married first? Why not have discussions around getting married first? And if you have that discussion and he doesn't want to get married, you have all the answers you need right there. But getting pregnant and having the child and then saying, I'm not going to put your name on the birth certificate because we're not married, is that going to encourage him to marry you? And even if he does, is he going to be happy in that marriage because you forced him by using this unborn child? You used an unborn child to punish this man into getting him to do what you want him to do as a woman. That is how you want to use your power as a woman, to hurt the man through an unborn child. And like I said, if it's a man that's a deadbeat, if he wants you to get rid of the baby that you want, I understand. But in other circumstances, if it's not a traditional thing, because there are some traditions that give the child the mother's last name, and I get that. That's not what I'm talking about. Why would you not want to give the child the father's last name? I've only heard of situations like that. Either it's tradition, or the man wasn't there, or when the woman doesn't know who the father is. I've heard that one. She doesn't know who the father is, so she just gives the child her last name. If it's not any of those situations, why would you want to hurt the man? Why would you want to do that to the man? I have a friend, she had a baby because she wanted a baby, and she had someone get her pregnant as an agreement for her to have a baby. And she gave the child her last name. Understandable. She wanted a child, and so she had a child on her own, and she gave that child her last name. I'm not talking about those situations. But hurting a man by not giving the child his last name, that should be a shame as a woman. And that is just my opinion. Share your thoughts with me in the comments. Let's have a discussion about it. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll definitely see you in my next video.
This is an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Do not give your child the father's last name.
Sorry, it's in the dark. You know what? Hold on. Let me get some light going on so I can get into this real quick. Sorry about the busted lip, y'all. I have a Belgian Malinois, and this happens sometimes. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, probably. I think probably not nowadays. I think it's becoming more popular to feel this way, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. If the father is obviously a deadbeat, like from Jump Street, he's like, I don't want to be in this. He was trying to talk you into getting an abortion, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Then I don't have a problem with it. But just in general, you're saying to me, if y'all aren't married, don't give him the name? That's not fair. Why? Because you laid up with a man and got pregnant by a man you weren't married to? So now let's punish him because y'all aren't married because somebody spread their legs and didn't use any kind of, like, contraceptives? And don't tell me, oh, people get married. Look here. I have been with the same man for almost 14 years now. I've been pregnant twice by this man. Okay? The first time, we were not trying, but we definitely were not doing things to hinder pregnancy. Let me say that. The second time, we were actively trying. Other than that, and that was all in the first couple years of us being together. In the 12 or so that's followed, no pregnancy scare. You know why? Because we were actively doing what we need to do not to get pregnant. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You know how I know? Because I've been pregnant 3 times. And all 3 times, it happened very quickly for me, which means I can get pregnant easily, or at least I could back then. I'm 38 now, so maybe not as easily now. What I'm saying though is you can actively try not to get pregnant. So if you feel that serious about your kid like that, then it being that big of a deal, maybe you should think it's a big deal. You shouldn't be having a child with him in the first place if you're not married. If that's his child and he wants to be a good father, don't not give the kid his name to punish him because y'all aren't married. Why'd you have a baby with him? If it was an accident, it was an accident. Take culpability. It is what it is. You're going to you knew when you laid down with him whether he was going to marry you or not, whether y'all are on that route or not. I'm not even saying this isn't an advocation for no sex before marriage. This is me advocating for using your brain and not having a child with somebody that you're not on that path with. And then thinking that because you did get pregnant, that, hey, let me punish him because we're not married. Why punish him and the child? Why do that? Why? Because legally you want to be able to have some kind of something up with him? That's wild. That's wild. And that's why women get on my nerves. Because this is what y'all do. Y'all use children against men, and it's not right. That kid doesn't have anything to do with you being mad or feeling some type of way because he hadn't put a ring on your finger. Maybe you should have tried a little bit harder not to have a child with a man who didn't put a ring on your finger. At that point, the damage is done. Why damage it further and make y'all's relationship even more volatile? Or if it's not volatile, let me be clear. Just because y'all aren't married doesn't mean it's volatile, okay? But I will say this, if that's your thought process, whatever issues y'all have, a lot of it's because of you. I can promise you that. It's not one side, it's not just him. If y'all aren't engaged when you get pregnant or married and all this kind of stuff, and your thought process is this, I can promise you're a lot of the problem of why y'all aren't. Because you're not in a healthy mindset to be in a good, healthy relationship. If your reaction is, let me punish him or do this because of it. That's his child too. Y'all don't have ownership to that child just because you're the mother. You aren't the only one who has ownership. He does too. Y'all forget they are parents too. Stop trying to take things away from them when it comes to kids because you're mad. Stop using kids to get back at them because you're mad. Why do you want somebody so bad that doesn't want you? Why do you want to hurt somebody so bad who doesn't want you? It's okay for somebody not to want you. Think about all the people in your life you haven't wanted. There's a lot of them. Should they be mad at you because you didn't want them back? It's not his fault if he doesn't want you. It's not personal. Some people just don't want other people. It's okay. You don't have to take it out on him and your child, by the way, because they don't want you. This is stupid. It's stupid, petty, small, childish behavior, and it sets y'all's relationship as co-parents off on a bad foot to do something so petty like that. Do you know what? And then that trickles down to your child. Because you were mad because he doesn't want you. So let me do this. And the sad part is, you have all the power to do that to him. We all know that. People act like men have all the power. When it comes to kids, women have all the power in the system. At the hospital, in custody, in court systems, in where the kids get taken. A mom can be a crackhead living in a crack house damn near, and they're not going to take that kid away, at least not for long. But a dad, please. Like, y'all have all the power and you use it to your advantage, no matter what it does to your kid. And let's be very clear, just because you're not directly doing something to your kid doesn't mean it doesn't affect your kid, because that is your kid's father. It's not about you anymore. But here you are 9 months later after you found out you were pregnant, and you're still mad and thinking about how you feel instead of how you should be worried about your kid and how this is going to affect them. So I don't know, this is it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And you wonder why he didn't want to marry you, because obviously he could see that you're that kind of person, that if y'all were to get married and for some reason it didn't work out, obviously you're selfish. And we all are selfish to an extent, but you can't be that selfish and be in a relationship, because a relationship takes work. It takes a little bit of selflessness. It takes a little bit of effort on your part every day. And sometimes you have to put your pride aside and all this kind of stuff. And that personality that right there shows me you're not that type of person. And he could obviously see that. And he's like, you know what? Why would I want to marry somebody like that? That's why. Now, let me be clear. He holds culpability too. He should have impregnated somebody he wasn't willing to marry. He should have been trying very hard not to. Now, I understand accidents happen, but if it happened, y'all both knew where y'all stood when you got pregnant. So why all of a sudden are you mad he doesn't want to marry you? Okay? Y'all both made choices, because let's be honest, at the end of the day, sex leads to pregnancy. Okay? So, 9 times out of 10, you didn't take the proper precautions. On that slightly small percent that you did and you got pregnant, well, guess what? That's the intent of sex. That might not be your intent, but that's what it's for, is to impregnate people. So anytime you lay down with somebody, you understand that could happen. So you need to be prepared. When you lay down with them, you knew if y'all were engaged or not. You knew where it was leading or not. Both of you did. Okay? So both of you at that point should be choosing, you know what? It's no longer about us. We knew, like, your relationship shouldn't have to go either way before. Even if y'all weren't engaged, you knew if y'all's relationship was headed that way. I could see pregnancy maybe speeding up maybe an engagement, or like, you know what? I love her. She's pregnant. I'm ready to do this. I was waiting till next year anyways. It was going that way anyways. But y'all also knew it was never going there. So at that point, why make it like this? Why? And make it a more volatile situation for the kid coming in. Come on.